What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode of the Second of Strength podcast. It's Tanner. I'm here. I'm doing great. I've got my dog Putter laying down here. I tried to get him up here on camera. He will not come up on camera. But he's doing good too. Just where I go, he goes. And I'm grateful you're here. Today we're going to talk about dreaming big and probably dreaming bigger. And if you think you're dreaming big, or maybe you've lost sight of your dream, or maybe you've reached your dream and now it's time to dream bigger. And I think what I found in my life is that I've had big dreams in the past. I am somebody who, when I set a dream, when I set a goal, when I set a vision, I go forward. I believe that, in the compound effect, if you've read Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect, it's a phenomenal book, by the way. But it is basically saying, small and simple things repeated consistently over time yield great results. And so we've got to continually do these things. And as we think about our purpose and our passion and these dreams and the things that we want to accomplish in life. And I don't know, wherever you're at, whether you're a teenager, whether you're an adult, we've all got these big dreams, these things that we're after. And sometimes it's small. Sometimes we don't really know where we want to go, but we've all got these things that we're pursuing, the things that matter most. And what I found in my life, especially as I've started this speaking career and speaking to teenagers in schools and other events, and, what I found is that over the last handful of months, I've felt kind of stagnant. And I don't know why. I didn't know why. I do now, but I didn't know why. And so I was kind of struggling. And when I went on, if you listen to last week's episode of the podcast, we went on this big hike with my son, and I had a lot of time to pause and reflect and think. And I think I realized that the reason I'm struggling right now is because I haven't set a new dream, a new goal, a new vision for my life. And what I mean is that I've been on this journey and I have kind of accomplished over the last handful of years the things that I wanted to accomplish. I'm speaking in schools. I'm doing it. I'm living my dream. And you might be in that situation too, where you're living your dream. You've accomplished the things that you want. But a lot of times when we reach the peak, we think that we've reached the peak. And if you've reached the peak, the only way to go is down. But what we've got to recognize is that every peak you reach in your life is the valley of the next version of you. And what I failed to recognize in my own life is that I was there. I had reached, I don't know, the peak. I mean, I can always be better and do more, so I don't want to get into that. But I'd reached my goals. I've accomplished the things that I set out to accomplish, and now I felt stagnant. I felt stuck. I felt like I wasn't, pushing or pursuing. And so this episode of the podcast is about resetting and reframing our mind to be able to move forward. And, part of that is, ways that we do that. And I think that, we always hear about vision boards, and I'm not going to get really into vision boards. However, I do think it's important to write down or put pictures or however you want to do it as a first step, write down your vision. What is the next vision for your life? If you've accomplished great things, awesome. If you're still pushing towards accomplishing those things, the original things that you set out for, awesome. But this is about pushing forward and growing. And so one of the reasons that as a first step, you create a vision board or you create a vision statement is because what we have to do is we've got to get our brain pushing towards our dreams. We've got to be on the lookout. And there's something in the brain called the reticular activating system. This is the part of the brain that functions looking for identifying factors in the world. So if you think about, I always loved Toyota 4Runners growing up. I used to see 4Runners everywhere. Or when Teslas came out, I know everyone liked Teslas. You started seeing everywhere, right? You might hate Tesla now, and that's fine. But our brain is conditioned to look for the thing that we have set as a goal in mind. And a very simple of that example is cars. We look for the car that we love, and we see it all the time. And there's not more of those cars on the road than there were before. We're just more predispositioned to see them. And so as we set these dreams for our life, we've got to write them down, make them real, make them tangible, because when we do that, then we can start looking for opportunities that are going to help us propel forward towards that goal, that are going to help us progress forward towards that goal. And so it starts with a vision board and manifesting the things that we want. And I don't want that to sound frou-frou-y. I don't want that to sound crazy. I just want you to set a goal and know what that goal is. Set a vision for your life and know what that vision for your life is. But here's what happens. I think that sometimes when we set these big dreams for our lives, we self-sabotage. And I have found that in my life recently, I have been self-sabotaging. And to be very transparent and very frank with you, is because I'm scared. It's because I don't know what the future looks like. And so it scares me to step into an unknown future that I don't know how to accomplish. That's scary to me. And so because of that, I self-sabotage. Because of that, I allow limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome and fear and doubt to creep into my mind. And I had this wrestle in my mind this morning that the reality is that I believe, and I don't know if you believe in God or you don't, I do, but I believe that God knows who you are and who you can become. I also believe that Satan, the adversary, knows who you are and who you can become. And what I hope you recognize of that is the seeds of doubt, the seeds of fear, the seeds of limiting belief that are planted in your mind are there to keep you from becoming the person that both of them know you can become. And that is why you have to keep moving forward. And what I know is that when there's seeds of doubt and there's seeds of limiting beliefs that are planted in your mind, what I know about seeds is what you water grows. And if you water the limiting beliefs, they will grow and it will be very hard to overcome. But if you leave them alone and you only water the things that you believe in about yourself, the good, the positive, the words of affirmation, the things that are true, even though the seeds of doubt are making them feel not true. But when you water the good, you grow and step into the potential of who you can become. And I think that recently I've probably been watering bad seeds in my life. And I know that you've probably been through that in your life. Maybe you're there now. And I just want to be very honest with you, because just because I'm a motivational speaker and I stand on stages and I help people doesn't mean I don't need help myself. That's real. And I've been in a state recently where I've probably needed a lot of help myself. I've probably needed a lot of support, and I've allowed these limiting beliefs to impact me. But today I'm making a commitment to move forward because I want to step into the version of myself that I know is possible if I don't quit, if I keep going, if I keep pursuing that dream. And I want you to do that too. I want you to stop letting fear and doubt and self-sabotage ruin your future, because it is rooting you in the seeds of doubt and in the past. Let's move forward. You have the opportunity right now today to stand up and move forward. And it starts with stopping the thoughts. It starts with choosing to move forward. And I'm going to start doing that because I recognize in my life, and I think awareness is the key to growth, I recognize that I've been making that big, big mistake in my life. And so as you think about setting this vision for your future, it starts with knowing that you have what it takes to walk the path and reach that dream. You do. And it might be unknown, the path. It might be scary, the path, but it doesn't mean you don't have what it takes to walk the path. You have what it takes to walk the path. You just have to decide that you're going to take those steps forward. And I always talk, you have your 1 second of strength. Find your 1 second of strength and move forward. Find your 1 second of strength and take that next step. And then one more step, and then one more step. And that's how you arrive at the place that you want to arrive at. That's how it starts, by limiting the limiting beliefs, by only watering the seeds of faith and not the seeds of doubt. And so you can step into the potential that both God and Satan know you can become. Don't let him keep you from your destiny. Don't let him keep you from your purpose. Don't let him keep you from your passion. But so as we set these visions, there's a couple of things that I hope that you do. Number one is I want you to think bigger. And whatever you just thought about, I want you to ask yourself, was that big enough? And then I want you to ask yourself, why not? Why not you? Why not bigger? Why not more? Why not bigger than that? Think bigger. Because if it's not bold enough, it's not worth pursuing. If it's not bold enough, you're going to get stagnant. If it's not bold enough, you're not going to want to walk that path for the foreseeable future. You have to think bigger. You have to think bolder, and it should scare you. If it's not scary, then you probably haven't thought big enough. And I'm not getting caught up in the, well, I don't know hows, and what if I can't, or what if this, and I don't want to hear any of that. I just want you and me to start today and start going, okay, let's get bold. Let's get bigger. Let's set these huge dreams, because that's the first step of it. What's the vision? What are you going to put on the board? What's the mark that you're going to put on the dartboard? And then ask yourself, is it big enough? Is it big enough? And then go bigger, and then go bigger. The second thing that we have to do is I want you to identify, who do you need to be to step into that place, into that vision? Because I'm guessing, and this is true for me and it's true for most people, that you might be sitting back going, well, I'm not qualified to be XYZ. I'm an imposter. I can't be this person. I'm not good enough, whatever it is. And those are limiting beliefs, no doubt. But what they are is it is looking at who you are now and saying that you're not qualified to be the person who can do those things. But remember, this is a process. This will take time. This will take energy. And so you don't have to be the person you are now. You don't have to be who you need to be now to accomplish your dreams. You just have to know, what kind of person do you need to become? And look around. Success leaves clues. Look at the people who have been successful in this venture, in this life, in the thing that you want to do. And look at those people and what are the qualities and what are the traits that they have that you might be maybe are missing. Maybe it's you're lacking knowledge. Maybe it's you're lacking expertise. Maybe it's you're lacking, presentation skills. All of those are learnable. All of those are things that you can start today and start learning step by step, piece by piece, and you'll get there. And so who do you need to be to step into the vision that you see for your life? And then the last thing I want you to ask yourself are, what are the values and principles that you will ground yourself to, that you won't break, that you'll stay true to, that you'll stay over, that you won't break on? And I think that when we pursue dreams, when we set these big, crazy, scary goals for ourselves, if we don't root ourselves in the right soil, then it becomes very hard in the future, or we might sway, or we might become something we don't want to become to pursue what we want to pursue. And that's a trap that I don't want you to fall in. And it's a trap I don't want to fall in. So, as we think about this, think big. What is your vision board? What are you manifesting? What are you going to allow your brain to go work on? Think bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Second, who do you need to be to reach that big dream, that big goal? And third, what are the values and principles that you will not break to make sure that when you reach that goal, you love who you are? And that's the most critical part. So anyway, I've got work to do myself, because I truly have been stagnant. I've been allowing the limiting beliefs to limit who I can become. And I don't like that. I don't like that version of me. It's a version that I want to start now, start today. I've already started actually, but I want to start moving forward. So I hope this helps you today. I don't know. Maybe you're stuck like I've been stuck. Maybe you're feeling down like I've been feeling down. And I think the reason I have is because I've been shooting at goals that are below me, because I've already reached a lot of them and I need to move forward in my life. And so maybe you're at that point that maybe you need to recalibrate. Maybe you need to set new goals. Maybe you need to think bigger, bolder, and better. And when you do that, you step into that person, you become the person you want to become. So I hope this helps you today. If it helps, share it. Share this podcast. I don't know who it reaches. I don't know how many people. I honestly don't pay much attention to it, but I know you can help it reach one more person just by sharing it. So wherever you're at, I'll leave you the same way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.